y'all. Welcome to Black Girl in the World. If you don't know me, you will. And if you do, welcome back. I am a podcaster, and this is the show I hope you enjoy listening to. This week, we will talk about friendship breakups. Are they worth the heartache? I say this with a question mark because I think there are different viewpoints to this. I don't think everyone honestly sees friendship breakups as a heartache. You can have the mindset of feeling absolutely horrible for breaking things off with someone who you once considered a friend. Or you can have a mindset in saying good riddance excitedly to a person you once cherished as your friend because of whatever happened that ended it, and you just slam the door after they walk out of your life or your house or blocking them on your phone. For analogical purposes. I think I am in between, honestly, and I will tell you why. Last year, or I would say 2 years ago at this point, because I did write this transcript last year. So I would say 2 years ago, I stopped being friends with someone, and my version of not being friends with them was sort of different from their version. And I think that part is what hurt me the most. So let me say, my version of no longer being friends is not necessarily having that same closeness as there once were. But you can still wish each other well, just from a distance. It honestly doesn't bother me to see the social media of someone I once cared about. If anything, I am happy to see that you are doing well and maybe doing a little checking in every once in a while, because I don't wish you ill. We just don't align like we once did, I guess. Doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that, again, we are not close. That's it. However, their version of not being friends with me was to unfollow me on everything, not check up on me, no longer engage whatsoever, having very bland, I'm good type conversations. And it just kind of felt like, to me, that type of energy is reserved to having bad blood with one another. Then I thought, maybe us not being close anymore was the bad blood. To me, I just kind of felt confused, and I contemplated on whether I wanted to fight for the friendship by texting them and asking them, what was that all about? Just trying to figure out, how did the friendship go from not working out to you no longer having any sort of attachments because we just don't align anymore. I was really confused. But I thought about it and just decided to do nothing, I cried on my boyfriend's shoulder, and I told some of my friends about the breakup because I was sad and confused, and it really hit me wow, I was really going through a breakup. I made a connection with someone, when you really think about it, I made a connection with someone. We hung out together, we cried together, we talked, we allocated time to watch TV shows and movies, and then it all went up in the dust. In a way, insinuating that it was my fault for the friendship dying, and me feeling like I actually did more in the friendship than they were making it seem. And I was really going to argue with them about it too. But again, I didn't fight it because I felt like a mixture of feelings. I know I told you guys I was sad and confused, but to be honest, after a while, I kind of felt relieved as well. As I stated, it was a breakup. And with a breakup, there can be a lot of things that make you reflect and say, honestly, I'm sad that it has to be what it has to be, but there are also things that I can take away from this experience too. And here are a few takeaways that I noticed about our friendship during that time and what I learned about myself. The first thing, To be honest, I think I had grown into that low maintenance friend or maintenance friend. Yeah, I say maintenance in a Jamaican sense. So I'll say low maintenance friend. I put that in quotations because even though I was chill about it, it did not mean that I didn't deserve the same amount of respect in the friendship. Did not mean that I had my moments where I'm like, oh, I wish I could hang out with this person and I can't and it sucks and I feel really bad. But regardless, we were both busy individuals, okay? So I can't say they were always available for me, but I grew to understand that because, hey, I was busy as well. I can't fault someone for not being able to hang out with me. We also had to figure out what can't hang out and not wanting to hang out looks like. Not everyone in this world is fake, you guys. Not everyone who is just busy and cannot be there for you does not want to be there for you. Those are two separate things. If a person does not want to hang out with you, you need to give them the credit to say, trust me. They will let me know if they don't want to hang out with me. They won't fake it and say, oh, I can't do this because whatever the case may be. I can't hang out with you because whatever the case may be. Listen, if they don't want to hang out with you, again, they will tell you. As we get older, think about it. What is there to lie about? What is there? I just don't want to hang out if that's the case. Consider the person you are making plans with. Consider the friendships that you have around you to see what type of people you have around you. In moments when they were not able to go out with me, or they just so happened to forget that we scheduled something, I didn't make it a big deal because I too was also busy and I understood. If you are busy and that small moment of your time could be used for something else, I'm not upset. Doesn't mean that you don't love me. Doesn't mean that you hate me. Doesn't mean that you would rather do other things than be my friend. It just meant that your time was allocated somewhere else, or maybe you just didn't think about it very hard, right? Why would I fault you for something for that? We just tried to schedule for another time, dang, it sucks, but I hope that we can see one another and at least we can plan for another hangout, right? Okay. Next thing, finding friendships in your adulthood can be a hit or a miss. So making friendships in your adulthood while already having established friends as well can get really tricky if you don't know your friends. If you know your friends aren't really open to adding more people to the circle because they are basically content with the amount of friends that they have or that you even have, or they're just a bit overprotective over you and you spend more of your time with them and can't really allocate time for your new friendships, then you just know that you either have to lessen your adult friendship, really, or that you just know that you have to create separate time to be with them individually. Don't always try to mix your friendships because sometimes they just don't mesh. They mesh with you, but they just don't mesh with each other. And it is what it is. The more friendships you acquire, the more your time has to be split. And especially if you grow into a person where you love friendships, you love making new friends, and you're getting older and you have more responsibilities, it's just harder and harder and harder. And you might not end up having time for yourself. That's just the reality. Another tip is befriending someone who could be an overanalyzer. You have to be very, very cautious with that. I'm not trying to diss anyone. I'm not trying to say that I am also not an overanalyzer as well, because there are moments where I feel like I can be. But understanding that, to me, is similar to understanding that if you befriend a mean girl who is mean to others, does not mean that they will not eventually be mean to you, right? So if you befriend someone who is an overanalyzer on other people, it's not going to be a surprise, or it should not be a surprise, that the overanalyzation it won't hit you at some point. So recognizing that the person can be very, very observant. You too might have to walk on eggshells and be overanalyzed as well because you are not excluded from their behavior. So identify that, recognize that that could possibly be your friend, and just know that you too have to be careful. You might be on the chopping block as well. Okay? Next thing, I do not do well with scheduling and managing. Not all the time, anyway. I've done a very good job now with my calendar, but before I was terrible. I did not use a calendar, not one bit. But now I say no. Now I say, hold on, let me think about it. Now I say, yes, I'm available, and I will put you into the schedule. I'm not always around as much anymore, but hey, it is what it is. So yes, I overbook a lot and enjoy my family and my friends' time. That I just don't always tell them no. So yeah, I'm gonna go to ramen with my besties after work, and then go to the mall with my other set of besties after work, and then hang out with my mom in the morning of the next day while having plans in the evening of that day. That's just like a constant revolving door. Then not to forget finding time to be with my boyfriend in person and on the phone every day. Again, none of these are stressful to me individually because they hold value in my life. But say, for instance, you put all these on your calendar, and if you are sloppy, like me at times, you overlap on important things with other important things. So you have to go back and tell people you can't make it because of what you committed to first. And that can be very, very disappointing for people. So I feel like I honored the friendship in the capacity that I could, especially in the space that I could. I understand that it is what it is, but so much you can handle, especially when managing different friend groups coming from different places of your life. And that is a lot. Once you know that, don't further the relationship for any more scrutiny. Many things can be true at once. For me, I had and still do have a lot on my plate, and I was not properly managing the way I should, but that does not mean that I didn't care, right? And that I cared about them any less even after our friendship was over. If you are a person who is dealing with managing and failing time after time, I am still managing and failing at times. So you are not and will not be alone. I started using my calendar more, trying not to say yes to people I love right away, and just knowing that there are going to be people that you will disappoint. There might be people that you won't see often. There might be just some of your friends who turn into people that you chat with online. But don't make yourself feel bad. Find some time for yourself by watching TV or reading or napping or going somewhere to eat. You have to take care of yourself first, right? Also, we all feel judgment in our lives, and we do tend to judge others, but we should not be walking on eggshells with our friendships. Your friendships have every right to discuss maybe some areas that you can work on to be better, and you can also identify some friendships where you can tell them that they need to be better. But you should not feel like you are not putting in as much as you are trying to put in. Someone who knows just how hard you work, someone who knows just how much you care about that friendship, also knows that you are trying your best. And remember to keep having those people in your life. Any slight tone, attitude, look is treated like a threat, and you do not need that in your life. If you've dealt with a friendship breakup, you are so much more than what they felt about you and the last chosen words they said to you. Get up, brush yourself off, and focus on the betterment of your current friendships and do the best and be the best that you can be. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. I also want to just put this out there that this is not to diss the person. This is not to say that I also did not have any mistakes in the friendship, but at the same time, I could make something better of how horrible I felt. And I think that we as people should do the same. We're all trying to do our best. We all deserve love. We all deserve very positive friendships, and we all deserve to be a positive friend. And I know you can. So I hope that this episode is empowering. I hope that this episode pushes you to have conversations with your friends. And I do hope that you check out the other episodes if you haven't already. All right, you guys, this is my time. Bye.